Hello lovelies, how are we? Lesley, not quite enough knowing what I'm doing in that period between Christmas and New Year, which is always a little bit weird. So welcome and thank you for joining me as I skein up some yarn. I've got another bobbin of plied yarn here, which I will get me niddy noddy out, matron, and put into a skein so that I can soak it. I've done a classic 3-ply because that seems to be the only yarn I want to spin at the moment, and that's fine. So I hope everyone who celebrates Christmas has had a good one. If it was one to be endured rather than enjoyed, I hope it was over quickly and that you were able to find some little moments of happiness within it. If you had a great one, amazing. Glad you did. Fantastic. Sorry, squeaky voice. We had a quiet one. Now, I last saw you on the 22nd, so opened some more advents from Barb, so more yarn, and I'm still working on my recalibrate, which I'd really like to finish in time for the month end podcast, so I will be working on that again later. And also the advent from Megan, and there were 3 more mini skeins, and also confectionery. There were Jersey caramels, sour peaches, raspberry logs, and also some lovely decorations, Christmas decorations. So thank you, Megan. Really enjoyed the advent, so thank you so much for suggesting it. It was brilliant fun. Christmas Eve, Saturday I was mostly kind of prepping, and we went and saw some friends, so that was good. They're people that were actually friends of himself's parents, so they're kind of a generation older than us, but it was lovely to go and see them. That was Saturday. Sunday I was mostly preparing vegetables in the morning, and those who know me will be thinking, well, why, Les? You don't eat vegetables. No, but himself does, and as we were having Christmas lunch at home, I felt I should let him have what he likes. Then in the afternoon I went to see my dad, and we went carol singing. Now, he lives near Canterbury, and in Canterbury city centre on Christmas Eve every year there is communal carol singing, and there is a church choir, there's the Salvation Army band, there's the Lord Mayor. Actually, is she called Lord Mayor if she's a lady? Anyway, the Mayor, the Archbishop of Canterbury, gives a short speech. Not quite short enough this year for my liking, but that's me. And it's just a really nice atmosphere, so everyone's gathered together. I mean, normally it's kind of half an hour after the shops have closed, but as Christmas Eve was a Sunday this year, it's 2 hours after the shops have closed, but that's fine. And yeah, just good fun, and it's something that my dad has been going to for years. I mean, I think they said it's their 71st carol singing, and he was trying to work out how many he's missed, and it's not been many of them. So he wanted to go, and it was mild enough weather, so we got his wheelchair, my niece and I, and so we had me pushing the wheelchair, niece pushing great niece in a buggy, because great niece is 3 and perfectly capable of walking around, but where there's a lot of people it makes sense to have her in her push chair. Yeah, and we stood in a doorway, which sounds a bit dodgy, but it did protect us from a bit of a breeze coming through, and we joined in with the carol singing, so that was good. It was great to see that, and nice to see Dad doing something that he would normally do after having a year of such upheaval. It just felt really good to see him doing that and enjoying it and being out and about, and yeah, so that was all good. Christmas Day was just himself and me. The weather wasn't brilliant. We were talking about going down to the seafront to walk the dog there, but it was kind of drizzly weather, so We just did a short walk near to home. We had a Zoom call with the family. Then we opened some presents. Then we had lunch. Then I fell asleep. That's going to be a theme for this. And I served up this ridiculously bounteous lunch for himself. So we didn't have dessert. We had dessert instead of an evening meal. Instead of having like tea and sandwiches and, you know, whatever you'd have for tea time. Excuse me. That's when we had our dessert. So that was fine. It worked for us. Then yesterday, Boxing Day, I was feeling a bit achy. My hips were feeling a bit achy. I think actually it came from standing around in the cold on Christmas Eve, but that's fine. So himself took the dog out and we just had a sort of quiet day at home. I spent much of the day asleep in the armchair, so I would do a bit of knitting and then just kind of like for quite a while. So I hope there was nothing that himself was really trying to listen to, because he didn't have a chance with me in the same room. So here we are now, Wednesday, and for some people it's a back to work day, and for me it's not, because I'm not working till beginning of New Year. So I am tidying up this room because it's an absolute disaster zone. It just really doesn't look very good at all. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time tidying up in here and sorting out odds and ends, the kind of Christmas chaos. Everything ends up in this room as a general rule. I mean, thankfully we didn't have any guests this year, because when we have guests, depending on how many there are, I have to convert this room into a bedroom, so then I can't have all the chaos. So it's nice that I've had the space for that chaos, but I'm thinking that I need to do something about it now. So that was Christmas. I will be back later in the week. Hope you had a good one, and see you again soon. Now, I've just been sorting out my Christmas presents, so do excuse the red lips. I had some lipstick for drumming costume, which I've just tried, so feels very at the moment. But I've been sorting out my Christmas gifts, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you to two people in particular, because you have been so generous and I'm extremely grateful. So to Barb for the Advent, which was 20 grams every day, everyone, plus this one, this beauty for Christmas Day. It is Sock Labs Surefoot sock yarn, Cupid hand painted, 437 yards, 100 grams. It is 40% superwash wool, 40% super kid mohair, 20% polyamide, and my goodness, it's soft. It is absolutely stunning. Barb, thank you so much. Thank you. I have no words, which we know is unusual for me. And an extra thank you to Megan as well, because I have just realised the extent of her generosity. She put in her note that there were some 10 gram see, I'm overwhelmed. 10 gram minis and 20 gram minis. And I hadn't really taken a lot of notice, because there were different yarn bases, some are plumper than others, you know, I hadn't really taken a lot of notice of which were 10 and which were 20. But I've just gone through and done that. These are the 10 gram minis, and these are the 20s. So as well as having all these fabulous colours, I've actually got more yarn than I realised. So thank you, Megan. I'm rethinking my project now. But actually that pink and that, they would go nicely together. Anyway, I digress. Just to both of you, thank you so much. You have absolutely made my December. Thank you. Hello, lovelies. Apologies for the wet hair. That's kind of how life is today. Hope everyone's all right. It's Friday as I record this, and I'm not going to get my sweater finished for month end. Partly because yesterday I was working in here, which is hard to believe, but I'll explain more in a moment. And today I'm going to see my dad. And there was part of me thinking, but I need to get my sweater finished for the month end podcast. And then I remembered it's only knitting. I don't need to wear the sweater. I mean, if I was wanting to wear the sweater New Year's Eve or something, that would be different. But no. So I'm not going to panic about that. I can be disappointed. I can have a little bit of disappointment, but I don't have to be anxious. So, you know, that's okay. Oh, this is the one with the funny collar. Every now and again, this just sits right, and the rest of the time I'm faffing. So I shall stop faffing. So yes, I've had a few days off, so that's given me an opportunity to have a bit of a think and a sort out and a sort of work out, basically tidy this room up. At the moment, it's at the, I can't believe you're calling this a partially tidied room stage, because it's appalling. Because partly I have a large box there which is charity donation things, so that's taking up a lot of footprint in the room. And also you can see behind me I have a new bit of furniture. It's not going to stay there permanently, but it will stay there for now. A friend offered me a bench that would go under a knitting machine. Now I have one that side because I have a knitting machine on it, but I thought actually that's quite handy because they're a long slim table. So that's quite handy. And I was thinking, you know, it could be a multi-function. If I had guests and you just wanted a table to put teas and coffees and that sort of thing. Not that I have guests that often, but, you know, all are welcome. So anyway, I'm rambling. So what I've got is I've got that at the moment, and that is being set up as my bench of whips, which I will go through on the month-end podcast tomorrow, because the other thing I've been thinking about is the amount of whips that I've got in place that I need to either unpick or work on, because some of them have been hanging around for a while. And some of the things going on this bench are existing whips, and others are idea whips that I need to just crack on and do. So I'm going to set up a rota so that I work on something sort of fairly regularly, each thing in turn. And yeah, so that's going to live on that bench until it's a more manageable number. I will go through all that with the month-end podcast, which will be tomorrow. That's Saturday the 30th. But that's it for this week. So, did I show you my Christmas yarns? I don't think I did. Because himself bought me two lovely double knitting weight yarns. I will give all the details tomorrow. Not as kind of excessive on the yarns as last year. Much more kind of toned down Christmas, which kind of made sense for how the year's been. And I got some new slippers, which I was delighted about. There are all these memes going around on social media, and it's you know, really tatty men's underwear or socks with holes in, and it says, "Hang on lads, we're nearly there," and this starts around about November time and then goes on till Christmas. With me it was slippers. I really needed some new slippers, and I've got some, so that's good. I really am wittering now, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to wish you all well. If I don't see you before New Year, Happy New Year. Wishing you all the best for 2024. But I will be putting up the podcast tomorrow, which is Saturday, providing nothing stops me. That sounds a bit sinister. Anyway, stop wittering, Lesley. Go and have a cup of tea. That's clearly what you need. And thank you for being here. Thank you for watching all of the December extended weekly vlogs. And wishing you all the best. See you soon. Cheers.